Hi there, my name's Jon Webb and I work for Natural England, and this is a video for Wilder Stoke, Wilder Newcastle. Today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of wood pasture and veteran trees, and we'll talk a little bit about management. But I'm going to start off by asking and answering a simple question: is deadwood's important? That's often talked about, but what type of deadwood? Is it deadwood like this, small little bits like that? Or is it a big chunk of good firewood like that, nice and hard? Or is it a big piece of fallen wood like that? Or is it a huge veteran tree like that? Well, the answer is all of it's important, but that majestic thing in front of you is where most of the interest occurs. So why does wood decay? Well, wood decay is caused by fungi. Now, fungi and the world of fungi are a huge and mysterious field that I know very little about. I know a little bit about wood decay. What happens is a fungi gets into the middle of the tree. And if you see here, this is a nice bit of wood that hasn't been affected by fungi yet. And all this central area here is called the heartwood. Now, the tree grows in concentric rings, and it always grows from the outside, from the sapwood which runs around the edge. And this heartwood, this becomes redundant. The tree doesn't need it at all. So in a way, the tree doesn't care what happens to the centre. And so all this bit, it allows in some respects for it to be eaten out by fungi. So as the tree gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it's a perfectly natural process for the tree to hollow out, like this big beautiful thing here. It doesn't matter. If you imagine it, we get grey hair as we get old, or mine's ash blonde. A tree becomes hollow. It's a totally natural thing to happen to a tree. Now, yes, a lot of species live within these old trees, and you might think, well, you know, are they eating the dead wood? Well, they are, but they're eating the heart rot. That is heartwood that has become rotten, and that is really soft and squidgy. So instead of it being hard, like this bit of wood here, look how hard that is. Imagine how difficult it is to eat that. It becomes like this, spongy and fungoid, and very, very easy to eat. Imagine the veteran tree to be a planet full of bizarre alien life. The denizens are varied, from those that eat fungi and detritus to big mean predators and insidious parasites. All of them are deadwood specialists. They cannot live away from the tree. Imagine this world from their perspective. Huge internal cavities strewn with webs and bedecked by fungal fruiting bodies, riddled with galleries and tunnels bored out by beetles, seams of rich fungi to be gorged upon, where the bodies of immense creatures, that's squirrels, have died and are left to be devoured by scavengers. One example are the cardinal click beetles. Now, these guys are predators, and what they do is they ingest wood as they move through it, but they're not eating the wood. Most of it is passing back out their rear ends. But when they come across a gallery with other species in that may be eating the fungi, they burst into that gallery, eat them all, and then start again, eating through the wood to find the next gallery on. As regards to management, it's really critical that these veteran trees are kept growing as long as they possibly can, and it's critical that they're kept in these open situations so they can spread and grow as wide as they possibly can. As regards to dead wood, it's very simple: don't cut it up. Leave it where it is and don't cut it up. Cutting up dead wood is tantamount to vandalism, really. Invertebrates need big chunks of dead wood for the stable environment in the centre of them. What's also important on these sites are nectar sources, and although this isn't the right time of the year, this has got plentiful nectar sources around it with apple trees and hawthorn, and there'll be species within the grazed land which species can also feed upon. It's also important that these areas are grazed. Grazing is really useful for keeping the land open. And of course, one of the most difficult things that we've got to do is fill the age gaps, and it's very critical that we plant new trees, veterans for the future that can take over in a few hundred years' time. Great Britain is rich in veteran trees. We have a history of medieval deer parks, chases, formal parklands, wood pasture, and often there are scattered remnant ancient trees throughout, such as in Needwood. These places are really, really special, and the veteran trees within them are particularly special. It's critical that we continue to conserve these habitats and, where possible, recover them.